Okay, so when I come to my home page here, I see it says weather versus climate. So that's pretty good because it kind of tells you what it is you're going to be talking about. But then when you kind of read the description here, it's about your third graders. So you're telling someone about what third graders are supposed to do with this unit. So I'm wondering if maybe this is more for your colleagues tab because when it opens up for students, I wonder if this would be a little bit confusing for them, wondering why this is here. But I do like that up here you can kind of differentiate between if you're a colleague, this is where you go, if you're a student, this is where you go. So I'm going to just go ahead and go to your student section. And then it opens to lesson 1, which is good. And actually, if you click students, that's what I was going to do first. When you click that tab, it opens up to the unit goals, which is good, and it kind of gives a description about what students are going to be seeing in the unit and then the lessons and what kind of tools they're going to be using. And I like that you kind of build their background here by kind of looking at the weather right where you're at. One suggestion here would be possibly moving a tab here that says go to lesson 1, because you do have that in your other lessons. And I feel like it's a little bit tricky for them to know what to do after they look at this page. Like, then they got to go all the way back up, click the tab, then go to lesson 1, and I feel like it's a lot of steps. It might be easier to just click down at the bottom to go to the first lesson. But then lesson 1 opens, and one thing that I noticed right away was that these kind of check marks here, or where you can click to go to each part, they're really kind of halfway into the background and halfway into the centerpiece. And I feel like it's really hard. It's almost easy to miss because it blends in with that background really closely. So maybe push that over and have it right inside this tan box, and that I think would be easier to view. I like that your objectives are in this orange color. It kind of brings it out a little more, helps your eye see it right away. And then it points down to part A. The one thing I might suggest is moving that part A right above the directions. I feel like if they're lined up, it might be easier to see that this is part A and not this is part of part A, if that makes sense. And then it says to go here to this site. I'm assuming because it's underlined, when I click it, it will open up to the link. And when I do click it, it did open up to the link there. My one concern is that students might not understand they need to click that, so it might help to have like a little button here for them to actually click and it goes right to that site. And then again, maybe moving part B over to the directions to see that they're moving on to the next part. I like that this no longer moves when I click it, because I know I remember that did, and so that's good. Things aren't changing. It says to click on the Venn diagram link, and again, are they supposed to, I know when they click on this it opens, but do they, like, is it clear for them to know that they need to click that? Because I felt like seeing the link here that there would be a link for them to click over here, but there wasn't. So possibly adding another like button there for them to just click on to go to the site. And then I like that this kind of shows up as you're scrolling down. It kind of flashes into them, so that's helpful because then they don't miss it. You might consider putting a space here, though, this little spacer, just to kind of move the finished early tab down a little bit, or this box down a little bit, just so it doesn't look like it's part of these steps. Because early, like before, you have like part A, part B, and then it says finished early, but I feel like it doesn't kind of go, it doesn't flow as well, because like this looks different than the finished early part, so you might even possibly make that the same, just to kind of keep it consistent. And then when you click on next lesson, it goes to the next lesson, and this is that thing I was telling you, maybe put also on that first page, that student's page, so that they can kind of go right into the lessons. When you look at lesson 2, again, maybe move these over just a little bit to the right, just to kind of get them right into the box. And then I like that this is here in orange again. You might consider bolding this word, or even bolding all the objectives, just to make it a little more easy to see. And then, yeah. And then I like that your lessons are pretty consistent. Part A, part B, everything's kind of there for them to see. If you're going to use your iPads to access Edpuzzle, watch a video about weather and climate to learn more about various characteristics. So I like that this is embedded in here. They can easily click play and watch it from here. And then you give them the directions on what to do. You might want to move that over a little bit. I think there's 2 spaces there. And then I like that you might consider making this a little bit bigger just to, I feel like it's a little bit smaller than this font and it makes it a little bit hard to see. So you just might want to make that a little bit bigger or bold it. And I like this, it's very, it's big, it's easy to see, and then it helps them be able to like access it right away. And then this again comes up as you're moving through it. See, like here, use this website, and then you can kind of click that tab, so you might want to consider doing that for the other links that you have them going to, just to make it a little more consistent, easy for them to find. But I do like that you've embedded this in here so that they can easily see what it is they're going to be opening and what to do. That's really good. And it's big, it's easy to see, so that's good. Yeah, overall the lessons are looking really good. I can really tell where you've made your changes and stuff, so that's good. Your colleague side, I'm clicking now. Very easy to follow. I like the colors. It kind of blends really nicely, especially with the background. These tabs here are really nice to see. You can it flows really well. Explains exactly what students are doing. I like that it's broken up into different sections and that you've linked to things. That's really good. Easy to navigate through and stuff. So that's good. Again, you might consider moving a tab down there just to say move to lesson 1, so they don't have to go back up and actually go to the tab and click lesson 1. But then I like that you've given a description, you've given them an amount of time that they're going to have, and then you've given teacher instructions for what to do. That's really, really helpful. I think that really is really powerful, especially for people that are teaching this unit and just kind of going. So yeah, overall